Guys, so it's been 1 week since I decided to get bald. And I feel like this is actually the right time to talk about it. Talk about everything going on here. Because the first week was fresh and dramatic. Everyone was reacting about it. But now things have settled down and I can actually hear myself think. So what a better time to talk about this new look of mine. The first few days that I cut my hair were very loud in my head, emotionally, socially, everything was loud. Because all the people around me had something to say, something to feel, or something to project about this new look of mine. But guess what? 1 week later, everything is quiet. And the quietness has taught me more than the first day ever could. One thing I didn't expect is how normal this started to feel. Because even before I decided to actually cut it, I was a bit skeptical. I gave people around me some hints. I remember telling my colleagues, I remember telling them at work that I wanted to go bald, just so I could hear their opinions, thinking that was going to influence me to change my mind. Because almost everybody I told that I was going to go bald felt it wasn't a good idea. So I thought it was going to influence my decision on saying that, what if I cut it and I look funny and all those funny thoughts that occur to you. But strangely, I went against what they all said because I felt like I really wanted to do this. I don't know where that inspiration came from, but I really wanted to. Not to just cut my hair, but to go bald. I know it sounds crazy, but it is what it is. But even though I really wanted to do it, I thought I'll wake up every day feeling shocked, regretful, or even unsure, asking myself why I did this. Because that the hair doesn't grow back in one day. So when you make this big of a change and you don't really like the outcome of it, you're going to regret it for a long time. So yeah, I was dreading those parts of it. I wasn't sure about how long I was going to enjoy the look. But strangely, I adjusted immediately. And that made me realize that when change comes from alignment, your nervous system definitely knows. It's always nicer when you choose to make the change on your own than being pushed to make that change. This week just taught me how powerful it is to choose change for yourself. When you are not coerced into that change, but you made your own decision, it feels so liberating. And that choice that I made mattered to me more than the size of the change itself, because it wasn't as if I was reacting to something or I was running away from something. It was basically me responding to my inner nudge that said, girl, it's time for something new. And honestly, the most interesting part has not even been about me. It has been about the people around me, the people I'm surrounded by. Just watching how everyone around me reacted reminded me that change acts like a mirror. People just react to change based on what it triggers in them. So some people saw courage, others saw loss, others saw freedom, some people even saw fear. And I had to learn very quickly not to pick up feelings that weren't mine, because none of those reactions actually defined my experience. It just reflected theirs. And the moment I sat with that, I stopped internalizing reactions as feedback. I've also realized that our hair as women carries a lot of symbolism than we actually realize. It carries a lot of femininity, it carries identity, it carries comfort, and it carries a lot of expressions. So removing that or taking that away from myself forced me to ask myself who I am without the things I used to decorate or protect myself. And that question doesn't just apply to hair. It also applies to life. And I think that is something that on any random day, every person should sit down and ask themselves, who really are you? At first, when I initially took it off, the awareness felt intense. I noticed my face a bit more, my expressions, my moods, and I even noticed how wide my smile is. But one thing that shifted was that I stopped looking at myself and started being myself. And because of the noise that has been going on in the past week, there's one thing that I didn't really expect. 1 week later, my hair started growing. See, my scalp is filled with hair. So my hair has started growing, just a little, nothing dramatic, but enough for me to notice. And that also felt symbolic in a way that I cannot ignore, because it went ahead to remind me that growth doesn't pause just because you cut something out of your life. In fact, sometimes cutting some things out of your life is what allows healthier growth to begin. This past week has also changed how I think about confidence. I used to think confidence had to be loud, like bold energy, big presence, all of that stuff, But honestly, this kind of confidence has been quieter. It's the kind of confidence that doesn't need you to perform or over-explain. It is just the confidence that makes you feel okay being seen exactly as you are, without any embellishment. This experience also made me reflect a lot on femininity, how much of it is external, how much of it is internal, and how often we confuse what we are used to who we really are. Because cutting my hair has not made me feel less feminine. If anything, I even feel more rooted. I feel like I'm defining myself more instead of borrowing definitions. And right now, I don't feel like I've lost anything. I just feel like I've gained trust in myself. And that trust feels more valuable than hair, approval, or certainty. I don't know how long this phase is going to last. And I don't know what it's going to evolve into. But I just want to enjoy the phase and the moment. And that is why I don't even wear my wigs when I'm making videos these days, because when I'm going to work, because of the cold, I put on my wigs. But when I'm home and there's warmth and everything, I just want to enjoy my new look. So if you are watching this and you are in a season where something familiar is falling away, whether it's your hair, whether it's a version of yourself, or even a belief, I hope this video reminds you that letting go doesn't mean you are losing yourself. Sometimes it just means you are meeting yourself more honestly. This is just 1 week in, and I'm curious to see where it leads. I'm sure you are also curious about what's this whole hair thing is going to turn out to be. Whether I'm going to stay bald, whether I'm going to grow an afro, or whether I'm going back to permed hair. Who knows? Let's keep our fingers crossed and keep watching. Thank you for sitting with me in this moment. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't done that already. Comment, like, and share. I'll see you again in the next one. It's bye for now. Mwah.